Hey Shackers, it's Oscar Khan, aka the man with the briefcase on the Chatty. You guys sent Greg some questions and some lulls along the way. So I have a very special guest here from Valve to talk to us. Can you introduce yourself and say your position at the company?
Yeah, I'm Brad Muir. I'm a gameplay programmer at Valve.
And you're working on a video game at Valve.
Yes, we do that.
So let's talk some questions from the Chatty about Artifact, which is the game you're showing off here at PAX West 2018. So Valve is highly skilled. Valve has deep pockets. Valve knows how to monetize. Why didn't you make Artifact free to play? That seems like a weird question.
I don't think that's not necessarily a weird question. I think that's a fine question. Okay. I think a lot of it is we want to be able to leverage the marketplace. We think that provides a lot of value for people when you know that you can take this card that you opened out of a pack or that you bought off the marketplace and you can sit on it and then you can sell it later and you can get a lot of its value back. The fact that people can't free-to-play grind in the game in order to get their cards, that they'll have to buy their cards, they'll maintain value, and then they can sell them later. We think that provides a lot of value to customers, and hopefully they're into it. I think it's going to be great.
And another Shacker wanted to know, what's your business model look like regarding the expansions?
We'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
There will definitely be expansions for the game, though. That is. Yes, that will happen. We're going to be supporting it for a long time.
Awesome. And then, will there be premium versions of cards like gold or foils, etc.?
So at launch, we're not going to have any of that. I think we just want to make sure that there's a very pure beginning to the game where it's just all about the cards and the marketplace, and it's very simple, and everybody can get on board with that. But yeah, I think in the future, there are tons of places where we could add cosmetics to the cards, to the board. That you see the deck imps. I've had a lot of people asking me questions about that at PAX. It's a lot of opportunities, but we don't have anything solid right now. We're just really, really focused on launching the game and making sure that, we have that clean marketplace with just the playable cards on it, and that's all. And then we can go from there.
Awesome. So what's the list of gameplay modes that you folks will be launching Artifact with? Or do you have that yet?
Sure. Again, very simple out of the gate. You'll be able to play against the AI. And then we're trying to move away from the typical laddering experience that you might see in other games. We think that a lot of video games lately have pushed you towards this playing against anonymous people and really just grinding your MMR, grinding your ladder, all that. But we think that one opportunity that's being missed is it's really fun to play games with your friends. There's a lot of board game influence in Artifact, and board games I feel have had this cool resurgence where it's it's so fun to play with your friends. So we're working on it. We don't have a ton of stuff to talk about now. We're trying to build social tools so that it's really easy for you to play the game with people that you want to play with. Whether that's just a group, just two people in a group that want to play with each other, or slightly larger, or something huge. If you're you want to play with the Shacknews community, you can just queue up against the Shacknews community and play just against people there. We just want to make sure that people have the tools to play with who they want to play with, and then play the game in the way that they want to play it too.
Awesome. That's really cool. Are you surprised at the volume of salt being produced over this game by man babies in their midlife crisis years, uselessly flailing against the winds of change?
Can I just opt out of this question?
That's fair. That seems like a loaded question. But how about I rephrase it? At the International 7 last year, when you first announced Artifact, there were some boos in the crowd. Were you what the hell? We're making a game finally, and you're booing us. Or was it? How did you feel at that original reaction? And do you even pay attention to the internet when they complain about things?
I think it's there are a lot of eyes on Valve when we announce anything, and that's one of the reasons why I work here, and it's cool to work at a company that's feels very important in the industry, and it's cool. Somebody opened that door again, didn't they? Awesome. But there are a lot of really diehard fans, diehard fans of Half-Life, diehard fans of Left 4 Dead.
What's Half-Life?
Half-Life, it's a video game. We made a couple of them. And so when we announce anything, there are going to be people that are a little bit disappointed that we're not making the next version of their favorite thing that we've made. So a lot of that, I think, at least some of it, is a bit inevitable. But I hope that people will trust us, and if they get over a little bit of that disappointment that we're not making Portal 3 or whatever they would really love us to make, that they can check it out, and we have very good reasons for wanting to make this game, and that this game will be very high quality, and that this game will be awesome. So I hope that they check it out. We'll see.
To me, when I saw the announcement, I was just excited because you were making a new video game, period. So I feel like, and then Gabe has said a few times already that you folks are more interested in making games again. As you know, I feel like there's a shift going back towards games from, monitoring that massive marketplace that you have.
Yeah, Gabe gave a really amazing talk about this when we started doing Artifact Press back in March. So I urge everyone to look that up. I thought it was really fantastic. But the thrust of this part was that there was this period where we were more focused on helping other developers on Steam, exploring VR and hardware, and doing these things that were not creating brand new video games, basically. There was, though, it was interesting, when I joined Valve, I was kind of surprised that people were talking about how we don't make video games, because if you play Counter-Strike, if you play Team Fortress, if you play Dota, I was a big Dota player at the time, there's a lot of dedication to those games, and there's new stuff coming for them all the time. And I was a bit surprised that this was a thing. But yeah, so Gabe's talk was about how it's okay, we're sort of through those things. Our hardware stuff is more set up, the VR shipped. And we can focus now on making some new experiences and brand new games and stuff. And Artifact is the first one, and there's other stuff on the way. Yeah. It takes time.
Yeah. No, for sure. And no, we appreciate it. This is kind of like what we were talking about earlier. So will TI will be incorporating this game going forward. What do qualifiers and organized play in general look like for the Artifact? Is it going to be similar to how TI set up, or is TI so massive that you might have to scale it down just a little?
It's kind of interesting. We don't really have anything to talk about with it yet. Like I said, kind of focus on shipping the game, getting it out the door. So we'll definitely have more details about it. But they are very different games, which is even though they share the same IP, they're very different games. So we're gonna have to take that into consideration. I don't think that you'll see a carbon copy of the TI experience for Artifact. We're gonna make sure that it is custom tailored for the best way to view this kind of game.
That makes a lot of sense. Card games are fun. All of the existing digital ones are flawed in some way or another. And there is a large audience for Valve that can help grow the Steam platform. Can you just talk about that opportunity that you folks have? Not necessarily being late to the game, but just being able to look at your competitors' mistakes before you decide to launch.
I'm not going to talk about our competitors' mistakes.
Yeah, sure. No, I just mean...
it's you know what? It's they probably exist, and we're probably going to make a bunch too. It's just, it's really, nobody's ever going to be able to ship a perfect product. I think that's just a fact of life.
Especially when you have a deck of cards and you have to balance things. It's just, there's always, I feel like every game that ships, there's always something that they have to figure out a way to rebalance. It's hard. You don't think of every possible outcome.
It is really tough. This genre is really interesting. For me, this is the first one that I've worked on, the first card game. And yeah, the interconnected nature of the design is really tough. It literally feels like a house of cards. Sorry for the awful pun, but it you change one little thing and it's oh no, that will break this and this and this and this, and it's oh, you can't touch that one thing. So I'm interested to see what people do, how what are the best decks and what are people playing, and we'll see. I'm sure that we're gonna make mistakes along the way. Everybody does, and I think it's more about how we react to it and how we take care of the game. I think that Valve is a really great steward of the products and just show really great dedication to the games and the communities as they go forward, and I think Artifact will be no exception to that.
Yeah, I think in 2018 it's really games as a service as a kind of development, so it's not, once you ship, it's not over.
Yeah, oh absolutely. And it's this will be the first product that I personally have been a part of that will ship at Valve, but a lot of the guys on the team, there's so much experience there that yeah, I think we're going to take very, very good care of this new baby that we're having here.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out to answer some of our community questions from our Chatty forum, which is 22 years old. It's still kicking.
22 years old. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah, I still remember F5ing Shacknews back, like, you know, in the Quake 1 days and stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was the place to go to get a Quake World server.
It was.
Awesome. So we have a little motto at Shacknews. We tell everyone to do it for Shacknews. Can you tell our community to do it for Shacknews?
Do it for Shacknews.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Left High Kick, Null Zero, and Wisp! For your guys' questions. They were actually really good, surprisingly.
And boo everybody else.
No, I'm not going to boo everyone else.